Do we finally have a Conrad ending confirmed? Episode 9 of The Summer I Turned Pretty is building up to the moment fans have been waiting years for. But before we get into leaks, Paris filming details, and what it could mean for Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah, we need to hit rewind. Because episode 8 wasn't just another chapter, it was the setup for everything that's about to explode. Episode 8 felt like a direct echo of Jenny Han's original novels, with Susanna's letters taking center stage. In both the books and the show, those heartfelt letters become a source of chaos, sparking drama that unravels right before the wedding. For Jeremiah and Belly, it wasn't just an argument. It was the collapse of their entire summer romance. Jeremiah had been clinging desperately to the idea of marrying Belly. For him, that wedding was a lifeline, his way of securing her forever. But the truth was harder than he wanted to admit. Belly's heart was never fully his. And when the truth surfaced, the fallout was brutal. His words cut deep, "You never looked at me the way you look at Conrad." That single line shattered everything. Belly couldn't deny it, and Jeremiah couldn't take it back. The breakup wasn't soft or romantic, it was devastating, raw, and final. He walked away broken. Belly was left behind, drowning in regret and the weight of choices that can't be undone. Then came the scene that has been replayed over and over in fan theories, the airport. Belly stood in line with her suitcase, preparing to board a flight to Paris. At first, it seemed like she was finally choosing herself, stepping away from the Fisher family drama, from both brothers, from the love triangle that's defined her life for years. But then everything shifted. Sitting only a few seats away was Conrad. Quiet, composed, yet carrying the same storm of emotions Belly was battling. For weeks, Conrad had been holding back, sacrificing his own feelings to protect his brother. Belly, meanwhile, had been trying to move on, convincing herself Jeremiah was the right choice. But the truth was undeniable, her heart never stopped beating for Conrad. In that airport, those buried feelings rose to the surface. Belly didn't turn away. She didn't pretend not to see him. Instead, she took that first small step toward Conrad. And right there, the screen went black. The cliffhanger to end all cliffhangers. Fans were left screaming at their screens. Was this Belly finally choosing Conrad? Was it the beginning of their reconciliation? Or was it simply unfinished business, one last conversation before she left for Paris alone? Whatever the answer, episode 8 laid the groundwork for a finale that could finally resolve the most iconic love triangle of the last decade. So where does this leave us heading into episode 9? Fans are divided, and the possibilities are wide open. The cliffhanger at the airport didn't just tease Belly's next move, it raised the ultimate question: who, if anyone, will she end up with? One path sticks closely to Jenny Han's original novels. In the books, Belly doesn't fly off with either brother. Instead, she leaves to study abroad in Spain. During that time apart, something unexpected happens. Conrad starts writing to her. Those letters become the foundation for their reconciliation, slow, steady, and deeply emotional. If the series follows this path, then Belly boarding the plane alone could be the catalyst for her and Conrad to slowly rebuild what they once had, away from the chaos of Cousins Beach. But the show has already taken bold steps away from the source material. Belly isn't heading to Spain, she's bound for Paris. And with that shift comes the chance for a completely new storyline. What if Conrad doesn't just sit quietly in the airport? What if he boards that plane too? Imagine the drama if, after years of holding back, Conrad finally chooses to fight for Belly in the most direct way possible, by refusing to let her go. If that happens, it would be a defining moment for his character. For seasons, Conrad has been painted as the boy who hides his feelings, who sacrifices his own happiness for others. But if he follows her to Paris, it proves he's ready to step out of the shadows, to claim the girl he's always loved. It would mark a dramatic turning point, transforming him from passive observer to active pursuer. Of course, there's another possibility that fans can't ignore: Jeremiah in Paris. Leaks from the set have hinted at this twist, and if true, it changes everything. If Jeremiah shows up overseas, then the love triangle isn't over at all. Belly might try to start fresh, but Jeremiah could chase her down, determined not to lose her without a fight. That would reignite the conflict in a new setting and keep the tension alive well beyond this season. And then there's the boldest option of all, Belly chooses herself. The show has subtly teased this possibility for a while. What if she doesn't end up with either Conrad or Jeremiah, at least not yet? Flying off to Paris could symbolize independence, growth, and maturity. It would be Belly stepping into adulthood, putting herself first instead of defining her worth through the Fisher brothers. This choice wouldn't shut the door on future romance, but it would give her the chance to figure out who she is without all the noise. No matter which direction episode 9 takes, one thing is clear, this isn't going to be a quiet or subtle resolution. By swapping Spain for Paris, the writers are sending a message: this love story is going to end with fireworks, not whispers. Paris is a city built on romance and transformation, and Belly's decision there will shape the entire future of the series. Episode 8 didn't just put Belly at a crossroads, it ripped the Fisher brothers apart. Their confrontation was raw, emotional, and filled with years of unspoken tension finally boiling over. Jeremiah accused Conrad of being the one Belly had always loved, and for the first time, Conrad didn't deny it. He admitted out loud that Belly was the only girl he could ever truly see himself with. That confession cut Jeremiah to his core. The aftermath was brutal. Jeremiah lashed out, declaring Conrad was dead to him, and in that moment, their brotherhood shattered. This wasn't a simple fight that could be brushed aside. These were words meant to wound, and they did. If Belly does choose Conrad in episode 9, the fallout will be messy. Can Jeremiah ever forgive his brother? Or has Belly's love story left permanent scars on the Fisher family? This sibling rift is one of the most crucial dynamics heading into Paris. The show has always been about more than just Belly's choice, it's also about how that choice ripples out to the people around her. If Conrad and Jeremiah's bond can't be repaired, then Belly's relationship with either of them will forever carry the weight of that broken brotherhood. It raises the stakes of her decision tenfold. Now, let's shift gears to the leaks, because this is where things get especially intriguing. Multiple cast sightings in Paris confirmed that the storyline won't just revolve around Belly traveling abroad. Photos of Lola Tung filming in Paris solidified that Belly makes the trip, but what shocked fans was who else joined her. Both Gavin Casalegno, Jeremiah, and Christopher Briney, Conrad, were spotted on location. That changes everything. Instead of Belly's solo journey of growth, we're looking at a Paris showdown. One leak in particular set fandoms ablaze, Jeremiah embracing Belly on a Paris street. Belly looked surprised, even caught off guard, which raises more questions than answers. Did Jeremiah fly there just to win her back? Did Belly invite him? Or was it a grand romantic gesture, the kind he's always been more willing to make compared to Conrad? Meanwhile, the mere presence of Conrad in Paris suggests his story isn't finished either. If he and Belly share scenes overseas, it could mean the writers are building toward their reconciliation in a grand, cinematic way. Paris, after all, is the perfect backdrop for a love story that has simmered for years. The Eiffel Tower, the quiet cafes, the city lights, it's the kind of setting that amplifies every glance, every word, every choice. Bringing all three characters into the same city sets the stage for the ultimate climax of this love triangle. No one is sidelined, no path is ruled out. Belly could choose Conrad. She could choose Jeremiah. Or she could walk away from them both. By placing them in Paris, the writers have turned a simple love story into an event, one that feels larger than life, emotional, and unforgettable. Paris isn't just a change of scenery, it's a deliberate storytelling choice. In Jenny Han's novels, Belly studied abroad in Spain, and it was during that time apart that she and Conrad slowly reconnected through heartfelt letters. Those letters became the bridge that rebuilt their relationship. But the showrunners made a bold change, swapping Spain for Paris, the city of love. Why Paris? Because it heightens the romance and dramatizes the stakes. A love story in Paris is never quiet. It's grand, sweeping, and cinematic, exactly what the series has been building toward. If Belly and Conrad collide here, the setting alone transforms their reunion into something unforgettable. Imagine Conrad, usually guarded and distant, opening up under the Paris lights. Vulnerable, finally willing to fight for the girl he's loved for years. For a character who has spent so long pushing Belly away, choosing this moment to step forward would mark tremendous growth. It would be the payoff fans have been craving since episode 1. But Jeremiah's rumored presence in Paris complicates everything. If the leaks are true and he shows up to surprise Belly, it means he isn't ready to let go. His gesture would prove that he's still willing to chase her, still willing to gamble his heart even after their devastating breakup. That keeps the triangle alive, ensuring that Belly's choice carries real emotional weight. And yet, there's a third possibility that may be the boldest of all, Belly choosing herself. By boarding that plane and embracing Paris, she could carve out a path of independence. No brothers, no triangle, just Belly growing into her own person. That decision wouldn't close the door on Conrad or Jeremiah, but it would show that she doesn't need to define her life by romance alone. In many ways, that could be the most powerful ending of all. Still, the heartbeat of this story has always been Belly and Conrad. Their shared history, their glances across crowded rooms, the unspoken words, episode 8 made it impossible to ignore. Jeremiah himself acknowledged the truth, Belly has never looked at him the way she looks at Conrad. That line wasn't just a fight, it was a revelation. Even in their most fractured moments, Belly and Conrad's love has endured. Paris, then, could be where everything comes full circle. The misunderstandings, the heartbreaks, the missed opportunities, all of it leading to this one decision. If the writers lean into the emotional weight of their bond, Paris will be remembered as the place where Belly and Conrad finally chose each other, once and for all. Of course, fans will keep speculating until the finale drops. Will the writers give us the Conrad-Belly endgame we've been waiting for? Or will they twist the knife and keep the triangle unresolved? One thing is certain, episode 9 won't be quiet. It will be dramatic, emotional, and transformative. And whether Belly walks away with Conrad, Jeremiah, or no one at all, her Paris journey will change everything forever. So, what do you think? Is Paris the setting for Belly and Conrad's long-awaited ending, or just another stop in their complicated story? Drop your theories in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more TV promo recap breakdowns.